Hello?
Teresa.
Yeah.
Hey, it's Connie.
Oh, hey, Connie.
So we got it to where it's all on the phone now. Okay, Teresa, that is Chris. So.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm here. I can.
Hello.
I can.
Okay. Lyn, can you talk again? You sound very low.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, the volume just kind of went down when we started.
Yeah. And Lyn's like a low talker. He's a low
Hello.
He's a low talker. And Teresa's got the best radio voice, even though she doesn't believe it. So, okay, so Teresa, you know what we're up to, right?
I have an idea.
Okay, basically what we're going to do is, talk to Lyn, and now we're going to say, hey, this is how this applies. And we have a target, and you guys are going to kind of describe how it happens in what? You can kind of do it in like 20 minutes or less, right? And I'll interject and talk, along the way.
Okay, Lyn usually monitors my sessions with no difficulty at all whatsoever, so I will follow his lead, okay?
Well, we're not going to do a session. We're going to talk about the Aztec thing.
I know, but I have no idea where you want to jump in, what you've already covered, etc.
Oh, I haven't covered anything on it, and what I thought I'd do is just explain how the tasking came about and what we did, and that we put it out to the viewers, and here's basically the results.
Perfect.
Like I said, I'll follow your lead.
Okay.
Okay.
And I'll lead Lyn, and he can spearhead this.
Okay.
Lyn, can you view just really quick to see if this works out at the end of this 20 minutes? If we're all going to be happy or not?
No, a meteorite is about to hit the Earth right now.
All right. Okay, we'll go ahead and start here. Hey there, we are back on High Strangeness. I'm Connie Willis. The number to call if you need to is 1-800-STRANGE. We encourage those phone calls, 1-800-STRANGE. And please check out our website at highstrangeness.com. You can find out exactly what we're talking about as well while you listen. See the pictures that we post up along the way. And you're going to really be interested in this because we're going to throw out the analysis of what we're doing right now, which is called remote viewing. We're going to put this up on the site too. We are talking with Lyn Buchanan, an actual military remote viewer. And we also have his assistant, Teresa, that's also on the line. Hey, Teresa.
Hey, Connie.
We have Lyn. What we're doing here now is we talked about what remote viewing is. Now we're going to show you how it applies. So we want to go ahead and Lyn, just go ahead and tell us what's going on with what you just found out recently.
All right. Not too long ago, excuse me, the Aztec, New Mexico UFO Symposium called and asked us to take a look at a crash that happened back in 1948 of a UFO there. They have a lot of people who are trying to debunk it and trying to disprove it and everything else. And so they basically wanted to have remote viewers who have documented track records to take a look at it. Excuse me, to take a look at it and see what happened. Well, like I was saying earlier, you never tell a remote viewer what they're viewing. And so we got a group of 11 remote viewers. You there?
Yep.
Oh,
we are here.
Got a group of 11 remote viewers and tasked them with describe an event. That's all we told them. Others, we said, describe a man-made type thing. Man-made meaning manufactured, not natural. And so the viewers started turning in their, doing their sessions and turning in their results. What we found was that the history that the people in the town have been saying was almost exactly what the viewers were finding. And the viewers had no idea what they were viewing at all. So anyway, the history of it goes that there was a crash in Aztec, New Mexico, just 1 year after the one in Roswell. And I guess Aztec doesn't have the PR people that Roswell has. so they're not making as much money out of it.
You got that right.
Yeah. But anyway, there was a crash right outside of Aztec, New Mexico in 1948, and that there were 16 dead aliens in it. The military, of course, came on the scene just very soon afterwards and ran everybody off and took over the thing, cordoned it off so nobody could, get within viewing distance. And then they sort of dismantled the thing, carted it off to who knows where, and the bodies as well. The sequence of events that the viewers found were almost exactly the same, and they were finding people who looked strange, and people who were odd-sized and different things like that. And so anyway, one of the things that the viewers found was going to upset the apple cart. And so I made a presentation of the findings at the 13th Annual UFO Symposium there in Aztec, and got to the very end when I said, okay, what the viewers found was that not all of the aliens were dead. That, excuse me, that some of the aliens were still alive, and they were taken to an undisclosed place. Actually, the viewers described the place. I know where the place is, but, it's a classified installation. So anyway, the viewers described the installation, to a T. And so, anyway, what seems to have happened is that the government people tried to negotiate some way with the aliens, and the aliens were talking to them mentally rather than vocally, and every time they tried, it would just totally overpower the humans and scared them. And so, they were afraid. This is 1948, during right after the war and everything. And so anyway, they were afraid of these aliens. They couldn't incarcerate them because the aliens could, make the humans do anything mentally that they wanted. So they weren't, they weren't going to be locked in anywhere. Also, they couldn't give them their ship back. That thing, the government stripped that.
Well, no,
thing
that's
like
ours now. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, yeah, like they had left it on Harlem on a Saturday night.
Right.
And,
cement blocks are underneath it.
Anyway, what happened was the people at the time had no other alternative that they could see except to execute them. And that they, in fact, executed the remaining aliens that were in the ship. This sort of upset the apple cart there in Aztec. And, they have wanted us to find out more and more details. And the remote viewing, you can get all kinds of details. The trouble is that one of the people at the Aztec Symposium does a radio show, and so they went out and blasted all this thing over the radio show, and the viewers heard it. So now the viewers are polluted because they know what the target is.
Right. And Teresa, can you explain that a little bit more? That what he's talking about there is they went ahead and why can they not go to a second session here and find out more?
Well, Connie, once a viewer has viewed a target and established site contact and begins to get information, we can retask that viewer and pull more fine detail based on what they already have. But it's best to do it blind. The more information that they have about a target, they have to fight analytic overlay and their imaginations taking over the session, and it really becomes very difficult for them. And once that information was put out and the viewers heard it, it sort of, really took away from quite a bit of what we might have been able to find out.
Mm-hmm. So when they went in and they viewed this, and they got different results than this story that has been told and passed on, it kind of shook them up.
Not the viewers.
No, definitely not the viewers, but it shook up the storytellers.
They, up until they heard it on the radio, they had no idea what they were viewing.
So when we'll go back to Teresa here for a second. Teresa, how many viewers did you have? What part were you in this?
I am one of Lyn's students. I've been through his basic, intermediate, and advanced classes, and I have a bit of an understanding of psychology as far as my work, and I have taken analysis class. So I also moderate his e-groups, and when he said that he had a target that he would like to put out a call for viewers, we did that on the e-group. 11 people responded, and I just coordinated the sessions and tried to keep everybody lined up and collected, and try to help organize the information.
So once the viewing came in and you looked at what everybody does, by the way, people, they write it down on a piece of paper. Anything that comes to mind, they write it down on a piece of paper. The only tools they have are a paper and pen. And everything that comes through their mind goes right on paper, down in order and in specific areas of the paper. So what Teresa does at this point is has to go through all that and make sense of it, correct?
That's correct, Connie. There is a specific structure that a viewer follows as they go through, and it takes hours and hours of practice to become familiar with yourself, because as each of us grow up, we're exposed to different circumstances and we see things differently. Every experience we have, we take away a different perspective of it, and that viewer, it was very amazing. Viewers work better in teams because as you learn to communicate between the subconscious and conscious minds and develop that training and those skills and that trust of the information that's coming in, because all you're doing is writing and sketching and moving down the page, each of us begins to know our own strengths and weaknesses, and we can develop the weak areas. But like I was trying to explain, that the teams work, viewing works better in teams, and you can go to a database of viewers that have established track records, and if you need information on a certain area of a target, you can choose a viewer who's got a demonstrated record of being able to report back with training targets that they, yes, were very accurate with those results. So when I saw the results of these 11 different viewers coming in, it was absolutely amazing to me, because I saw people who honed in on biologicals. It's what interested them, and they documented those activities. People who were strong in conceptuals and what the purpose was of things that were going on. People who sketched both biologicals and man-made.
Did you already know what the target was?
Did I?
Yeah, did you know what the target was, or were you blind
Yes,
as well?
I did.
Oh, okay. Okay.
I don't have the background information that Lyn does.
Okay.
But I knew the basics.
So that's great. So as soon as you're seeing it, you know they were on target immediately.
That's right.
Yeah, and everyone has their own forte that, you know, they do best in their own strength. And in this project that we did, 2 viewers have their strengths as, you know, mechanical things, and they started describing in general terms how the thing flies and how the motor works. And shoot, that's what I'm interested in. Yeah. I want to go back and task viewers again to get all kinds of very fine detail in that. Shoot, I'd like to build one and go tootling around.
Exactly. I want to join you on that one. Now, because they went ahead and disclosed what was going on, and the viewers are now polluted, will you be able to do what you're asking?
What we'll have to do is, as they get other targets and so on, we will have to throw some questions on this target into the middle of other projects, or just sort of do the whole thing again, getting other viewers.
Kind of catch them off guard.
So, yeah, catch them off guard so that they don't expect what's coming. You really can't tell a viewer anything about the target unless they're extremely highly trained and know how to work through pollution. Because if you do, I mean, the minute you tell them anything about it, their imagination and their logic takes off, and it's all over.
Exactly. Well, Teresa, when you were looking through all the viewers' work, I know that we all like to draw pictures of what we see, and what were the pictures that you saw? Can you describe some of those?
Well, there were several, actually. 3 or 4 viewers kept getting sketches of a spoke-like, a circle with spokes, like a pie cut up. If you imagine your mom baking a pie and cutting it into sections, or a bicycle spokes. 3 or 4 viewers got that, got those impressions. One had pictures or sketches of a very large biological. And
what did that look like?
Well, I don't really want to say, I don't want to throw everybody off, but if you see Sasquatch pictures, it sort of looked like Sasquatch.
Oh.
And he described that biological as somebody very large is here.
Excellent.
So that, and there were buildings, some squares type structures, rectangular. I'm scanning down through the report right now. There's a sketch of 3 biologicals, and there are humans at the site, as you will recall. So it appears to be 3 biologicals carrying a girder, what looks like a girder. But as Lyn said, this ship was dismantled. So, it could have been that. I'm looking at a sketch right now of 2 what I would call heavy construction equipment, like a dump truck and a large, I don't think a backhoe would be, like a big scoop on the front that you would see. I'm looking at a sketch of a round room with square windows with someone standing in it. Another site photo of looks like roads, and several viewers are also describing a Y-shaped railroad track appearing. You can't identify it as a railroad track. The job of the viewer is to describe, not identify. And when I am saying to you on the show, when I say it looks like a railroad track, that is for the benefit of your listening audience, because they need to try and figure out what I'm trying to describe without all the list of words that the viewers have given us.
Exactly right. So there's a question that's given, but none of the viewers know. You have a team of viewers. They do not know what this question is, what is called a task. And so they start viewing, and they start describing and drawing, and then once they're done, it goes to you, and then you have to look at this mess of paperwork. And I know if I did it, you would hate to see my chicken scratches on there. I think I'm worse than Lyn.
Your chicken scratches.
I know it. Shh, don't say anything.
The analyst has a very difficult job because, Teresa had to take all these bits where each viewer honed in on what was of interest to them. And she had to take all of that, and without using her own logic and imagination, she had to put it all together and get to the point where she could say, oh, I understand what's going on here. But, if she decides that she knows what's going on, then she would be making, putting pollution into the session too.
Right.
And the job that Teresa does is an extremely difficult job that takes mental self-discipline that is just far and away above what most people can do.
Well, she's basically, and she doesn't really connect the dots. She just pulls the dots kind of in order, and just says what the dots are.
As you said, Connie, I'm jump in here just for a second because you've brought up an extremely important point. That as I look at what you say, the chicken scratches
yes.
of the viewers, they write that they are describing. Right now, I am looking at, say, my door. I am not allowed to, if I'm a viewer, to call it a door. I describe it as a rectangular object, and it has actually a red clock on it. So I start looking at it and describing it. So as I look at this session from a viewer, I am tasked with, as the analyst, the questions that the customer has asked, which perceptions that the viewer has written down might match what the customer is asking. It's not my job to say for sure that this is this or this is that. This is what I'm seeing that matches up with what you asked about.
And you have to be straight anyway, because you all both know as well as I do that some of these people come in and they give you some bogus question just so they can catch you off guard.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So once all this comes together, you put all the dots down. And Lyn, you just described what the results were to us. I mean, how did it go from those dots to the results there? I mean, because you gave us a story, you know?
You know, what Teresa had to do here was sort of back engineer chicken scratch and information and perceptions and all that to find out, you know, she cannot say it's a door, but if she can continually get something that is the shape of a door and people use it for going through, you know, in and out of rooms, then she can say there is something that is like a door, you know, that is basically the same purpose as a door. And so, excuse me, and so the job of an analyst is very difficult in this situation, and Teresa does a really great job of it.
How many hours did this take?
Teresa?
I don't think I can count that high.
Yeah, days?
We were actually, when Lyn puts out a call for viewers, he'll usually get, you know, 2 or 3. Everybody must have been in a really mood to be challenged because we had 11. And then
Excellent.
The customer had actually asked 4 different questions, and each of those viewers, most of them, I shouldn't have said each, several viewers worked all 4 questions. So that you multiply, and I had over 30 sessions come in.
Does he pay you enough, Therese?
I don't. This is a volunteer type project.
Oh, he doesn't.
I paid her exactly what they paid me from Aztec, which is nothing.
Yeah, well, this is pro bono.
That's so sweet. That's your volunteer.
When we do work for police departments,
mm-hmm.
the work is pro bono because, you know, we just want to get the kids safely home and the criminals off the street and all that. And the only pay that we ever ask for, excuse me, the only pay we ever ask for is either a department baseball cap or coffee mug for each of the viewers. And so you have viewers who, you know, will have a bookshelf and
Excellent.
And here's all these coffee mugs sitting on the bookshelf from different police departments, and they generally tend to say nothing about it, but for them it's a point of pride.
Yes.
To see that they have done some good work.
Well, how were the people with the Aztec Crash? Were they happy? Were they able to give you a mug, or did they not like that you found something that they never told about?
I got a T-shirt.
Oh, all you got is a stinking T-shirt, huh?
Actually, I bought a T-shirt.
Oh, wow. So you did say that they had a little bit of a problem with that. What was the reaction with the fact that there were some entities that were alive?
Well, sort of wide-eyed reaction of some everybody sort of getting wide-eyed and saying, "Oh, really?" And you know, the local town history had never considered that there might be some of them alive, because what they got was information from some of the soldiers who came, and the soldiers basically told them that everybody was dead in the ship. And so, you know, the idea that our government might have done this in their inability to communicate and their inability to understand. We did a little bit further work and found out that the aliens who were trying to communicate with the humans were not belligerent, and they weren't mean or domineering in any way. It's just that they communicated mentally, and it just was something that the humans were not prepared for, and it was of such a strength that the humans couldn't actually take it.
Absolutely incredible. Now, if you're out there listening with our high strangeness audience out there, we're talking with Lyn, Buchanan, and Teresa. They are telling us about the Aztec crash that happened, and they used remote viewing to find out that the stories that they used to hear were a little bit different than, well, what's been being told. And that's the result of controlled remote viewing. If you have something out there that you want to know, or something, maybe it's with your job, maybe you're the president of a corporation and you'd like to know how the next 6 months is going to go, if you should put a whole bunch of money into one area or not. This is the team of people that you can give them a call and you can have them view that for you. Maybe you've always wanted to know what your mom or dad thought when you were a young kid before they had passed away, and they can view that for you. The group is called PSI. That's the actual company. How, you guys, before we take off here, how would they get a hold of you guys to do that? And you can also take classes to learn remote viewing.
Oh, yeah. This is a science that can be taught to anyone who's willing to learn it. And the best way, I think, is to bring up the website, and all of our contact information is on it. The website is CRVIEWER. CRViewer stands for Controlled Remote Viewer.com.
And we will also post that on the highstrangeness.com as a link that we can pass it on so you guys can learn the classes. But also, how do they get a question answered? How do they, if they've got a relative or somebody they know is missing, how would they get a hold of you guys for that?
The contact information is there on the website.
Okay. All right. Oh, well, thank you guys very much. High Strangeness you're listening to. The number to call, 1-800-STRANGE. If you'd like to call in, check out the website at highstrangeness.com. And we're going to be right back. I'm Connie Willis. Hey, you guys. Cool.
Hey, I'm sorry to be coughing all the time.
Yeah, right. No, just kidding.
Linda just brought in a thing.
Oh, thanks, Linda.
The news just said it's 71 miles an hour.
Wow.
Winds.
Wow.
And we're what, 9 miles from white sand?
Yeah. Oh, wow.
We're breathing wallboard,
You're breathing white sand. Yeah.